Hey, what's up, dudes? It's my birthday and I got this awesome gift. This is a new pair of Vibergs from the homies at Division Road. They're service boot on the 310 last in black woolly Chrome XL. And I'd like to tell you about it. Let's do it. And that bird would like to tell you about it too. Hey, what's up, my dudes? So it looks like it finally happened. I am now the owner of my first pair of Viberg service boots from Division Road. Division Road did a really good job with communicating with me on the sizing, fitting, and various other details. They also did a good job with the packaging and stuff like that. By the way, these shoes smell really good fresh out of the box. Oh, man. I say that in a good way. It like smells like really good. Like boots shouldn't like smell this good. It's like a little bit weird. So I've owned 3 pair of Vibergs over the course of things. I've owned their Rough Out Chukka. That was great. I've actually owned 2 pair of their hikers, which are really cool looking, but kind of pointless because they're super, super heavy. But that's a whole other discussion for a whole other review. I always wanted a pair of the service boots. That's kind of like their flagship model, if you will. The 2030 last that they're typically built on hasn't really worked for me. When I saw this makeup drop with an E-Wit and built on the 310 with this kind of extra stretchy Chrome XL leather. So this is woolly Chrome XL, which, if I understand correctly, there's a type of substance that's made as a byproduct of making wool that if it's in leather, which in this case it is, it makes the leather actually extra stretchy. So one of the reasons that I like Chrome XL on my footwear in general is because I have one foot that's a little bit wider than the other, so a little bit of stretch goes a long way for me. You know, the other thing about this makeup is it's all black. In case you haven't got the gist of my channel, generally I just wear a lot of black. You know, I spend a lot of time in hardcore and metal shows. Actually, I think in the original write-up that Jason and his team had about these service boots being released, they did one on the 2030 last as well. I think they actually mentioned a mosh pit, so when I saw that, I was like, yes, I probably need this if I could figure out how to not pay for it. And these actually were a birthday gift, so mission accomplished. In terms of aesthetics, the curved toe of the 310 probably isn't for everybody. My wife says these kind of look like Charlie Chaplin boots. They vibe with my overall aesthetic, honestly, because I've been wearing baggier pretty much everything, but definitely jeans, as you can see with these painter pants I'm wearing. These are on a Dainite sole. I like pretty much any sole that really isn't leather because I just think leather is just a little bit too noisy for me. The sizing and fit is kind of complicated because there's a lot of not really the best info out there. I will say this, I wouldn't buy Viberg sight unseen, but in this case I was pretty familiar with how the 2030 last fit already because I'd tried that on, so I was willing to pull the trigger. The long story short is, and I'm going to put in a little shot of other footwear that I own and how they look size-wise compared to these service boots. These are a 10.5 E in the 310. It fits pretty similar to an Alden True Balance 11D. Minor difference is the Vibergs are a little bit tighter in like the middle of the foot. This is an anatomical last, so there's kind of a rocking motion when you walk. That might not be for everybody either. I like it a lot. I think it said in the product descriptions that this is kind of like an old-timer last that people used to use as like a safety mechanism, you know, if they were working in industrial settings where they were worried about slip hazards and whatnot. You know, your foot kind of curves so it doesn't completely leave the floor, I guess. I don't know. But it looks cool to me, and I just kind of dig the overall vibe. I do, on my channel, I give things ratings, and I understand that fashion is pretty subjective, but I have to be honest about where I'm coming from with this rating. These are a great gift.
probably not a good purchase for the vast majority of people out there. This is for people who either cost is pretty much no object or are just really into Vibergs. I personally don't know anyone who kind of falls into that category. So to me, this is a C rating. Like I said, I love owning them. Great stuff. That's just where my ratings come from. Are they worth the money? I don't know, man. Like, you don't really go to a Porsche dealership and be like, hey, is this car worth the money? You know, it's not going to get you from point A to point B, like, you know, that much better than, I don't know, a Toyota Corolla will or whatever. But it's something that you buy because it's a luxury fashion item that you kind of are into. And I think that, you know, if you're buying Viberg, you should probably come from that same headspace, if you will. But that's what I think about these. I'm going to wear them a lot. Pretty heavy rotation already. And I'll keep you guys updated in the future, like how they break in and whatnot. All right, guys, thanks for listening. And got a whole bunch more videos coming soon. And we'll catch you on the flip side. All right, peace, my dudes.